Gentlemen of the press, I just decided to address you people to clarify some issues. If you watch when DSS use their Twitter handle to defend my character, the journalists, the members of the press, tried to hear from them. They refused. So, and they refused to apologize. It was when we must have written to Twitter and to them, they decided to pull that defamatory statement down, and they never responded to that issue. When they disgraced this country there at Ikoyi, when they disobeyed the court order, bounced on a senior staff of correctional services, their sister security agents, the members of the press asked them. They said that action displayed by DSS is not in their character. So that those personnel did not act according to their directives. So in other words, he's denying that some persons who are not members of DSS joined in that show of shame. One expected that by now they must have come to apologize to Nigeria for disgracing us, for disgracing the temple of justice, for insulting the judiciary. So they never did that. Instead of them to keep quiet, yesterday we saw what is called a press statement, or a statement issued by one Peter and Afunaya, the public relations officers of DSS. So in a statement, he termed DSS and accusation of disobedience to court orders, setting the record straight. So when you say that setting the record straight, Nigerians were expected that you should come and say, we have failed in this area, we have failed in this area, we apologize to Nigeria, we apologize to the judiciary, we apologize to Maxwell Opera for calling me a charge and bail lawyer, only for them to use petrol to quench fire, to inflict salt in injury. And by my own training, and by our own training as lawyers and activists, we join issues when somebody is making a silly statement. We don't join issues. We address it, just like when I was called, when they called me charge and bail, I never responded. I simply write to them, and the 1 week I gave them expired. Together with the Twitter, I have commenced my litigation in that regard. So when this Afunaya of a man wrote this thing, we wanted to ignore it. But I received, as at 11 p.m. yesterday, people began to come, including some journalists, to get some clarification. And if we keep quiet, they say that in law, admission means, silence means admission. It then means that we have accepted all these lies they painted in that statement in hook, line, and sinker. And that's why we find it, deem it necessary to clarify issues, not to join issue with them. Now, going by the statement issued by this Afunaya, one, we discovered that one, he has no knowledge of the law. Two, he was writing to impress his employers. That was all. So the basis upon which we decided to respond to these issues are: one, to clarify issues; two, so that people will not be misled by their statement; four, to help him appreciate the law. In the first instance, in the first paragraph, he started with the biggest lie, because had it been that he was well guided, he would have used this first paragraph and make it last. But he started with the biggest lie by saying that the DSS has religiously obeyed court orders. This is a lie from the pit of hell. To start with, here as I speak to you here, I have 5 court orders judgment against them, including the one that affects me personally. Where court asked them that they should apologize to me and pay me 5 million naira. They never appeal. They did not appeal against that judgment. They did not comply. Now, as I speak to you now, my very self, my colleagues, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, Nnemeka Ejiofor, all of them have various court judgments. If you gather them together, it's all up to 20. We have many of our clients in their detention as we speak. In the face of court orders, we have written to the National Security Advisor, believing that Malam Nuhu Ribadu, who just took over power, is not aware of this particular issue. We have written to the Nigerian Bar Association. We attach all these court judgments to them. I can't see the reason why the same DSS will come and look Nigeria in their face and start lying, saying that they have religiously obeyed the court orders. I'm going to give you
court orders on which matter?
Generally.
Okay.
Nobody is bigger than any other Nigeria. We are all equal. Generally. I hear what I'm saying. So, and they said court orders. It is there in their statement, the first paragraph. So now we look at it, we laugh over it. We said, no, we need to come and clarify all these issues. Then secondly, he also said that they have complied with the order of court. Remember that in their first paragraph, in their second paragraph, they said that they commenced terrorism financing and money laundering, among others, and subsequently against Emefiele, and subsequently apply to Federal High Court. When the Federal High Court refused, they decided to go to Magistrate Court to get court order to arrest and detain Emefiele. So now, it goes a long way of calling as a matter of urgency to close down the legal department of the DSS because they don't know what they are doing. Anything that has to do with terrorism, you don't go to Magistrate Court. If you want to get court order, you approach Federal High Court in line with Section 27 of Terrorism Prevention Act as amended. That is the only power, the only law that empowered you to get court order to detain somebody that with a terrorist suspect for 90 days and upon renewal. They know all these issues. So when they approached the court suspected that this is more political than legal. The court refused. That's why they decided to go to Magistrate Court. According to them, they held that particular order until High Court in Apo by Honorable Justice Kawo Bello and the one of FCT High Court, Constitution 27, by Justice Mwazu, gave them an order to release Emefiele. They quickly and rushed to arraign him for illegal possession of a firearm there in Lagos. As against the what they said that they have commenced. You can see the contradiction. Now, there in Lagos, court gave order. The same Afunanya also, in his statement, said that they complied with court order of that court and that they have the power to disobey court order in court and they rearrest an accused person in court. What a shameful institution. Telling the entire world that you don't have rule of law. That court gave an order asking you, I'm releasing you on bail based on these conditions. Pending when you fulfill the conditions, remand him at correctional center, which is government institution, just like the DSS institution. So if you feel that you have something against the person, that place is secured. You can easily reach him. That is what we call signage among security agents. Not for you to disobey court order. As at the time you are disobeying that court order, you have no warrant of arrest, to rearrest. Where do you derive your power to rearrest Emefiele? In the court. Now, he said that, yes, the rearrest of MFL is tainted with a lot of issues concerning their personnel and the staff of Nigerian Correctional Center. But meanwhile, it is procedural legal. It's very, very unfortunate hearing this thing from somebody who is an image maker of an organization like DSS. And as a matter of fact, he said in this thing, he after writing Peter N. Afunaya, he said PhD.
Barrister.
What means you have seen it all? I'm heading to somewhere because it's good for Nigerians to know. Now, when he rearrested Emefiele, it's through his statement that Nigerian, because the legal team has collected the order, served, that is the law. The order meeting of the bail condition has been served to the correctional center. In other words, correctional center, correctional services is expected to produce Emefiele. Now that they cannot produce Emefiele, they have served them that particular order. As I speak to you, they never complied with it. Only for him, in his statement, said that now that they are keeping Emefiele with magistrate court order. So what DSS is telling us is that the magistrate court is more superior than federal high court. That is the simple interpretation. That federal high court gave an order, detain this person, do this. Then a magistrate court that is an inferior court now setting aside the order of magistrate. So the order of a federal high court. And we said we cannot keep quiet. We need to notify Nigerians. This is abnormal. This is constitutional wrong. It is never done that federal high court will give an order and magistrate court will set it aside. I am calling on the Nigerian Bar Association. As a matter of urgency, they should suspend that lawyer that engaged in foreign shopping. What do I mean? When he came back from Lagos, upon violation of that order of court, the following day, 2 days after, they rushed to vacation court, ACT vacation court, approaching them to get an expert to detain Emefiele the more. Remember that as at that time they are moving this thing, there is no subsisting court order. They are still with Emefiele. Now, when they approached the court, the judge said, no, address me on this issue and address me on this issue. When they discovered that they cannot address the court on those issues, and the legal team of Emefiele, being represented by Emeko Begolo SYN, was already in court, the lawyer shamefully withdrew that particular motion and start moving from one court to another. We learned that they have approached several courts, several superior courts. When I mean superior court, I'm talking about high court, federal high court, court of appeal, and what have you. They refused to give them the order. So they decided to rush to one magistrate court to get that order. So I'm calling the NBA as a matter of urgency to send that particular lawyer that engaged this forum shopping to MB in Legal Practitioner Disciplinary Committee. I'm also calling on a conference of magistrates to also discipline that magistrate that issued this particular order. Because I also calling judiciary in its entirety. Because one, they are doing all these things because of judiciary allowed them. In other words, they are now using judiciary. They are making mockery of judiciary. Because if the CJ Federal High Court can issue an order that any matter that has to do with the DSS, no judge should entertain it until they comply with all the orders. I think that is the only area to move further ahead. I've been in a court where a judge gave an order to release somebody. Baba, who is now under DSS custody, refused. The magistrate said, call the registrar, back all the whole files that has to do with the EFCC in this court. Send it to CJ to reassign. Maybe they don't like my face. Maybe they don't believe that I'm a judge. Let them go to the court that they will obey their decision. Having said that, under 24 hours, the EFCC complied with the order of that high court. So I'm calling on the judiciary to help. Now, you discover that the same DSS, when Court of Appeal ordered that Nnamdi Kanu should be released and should not be arrested or detained, DSS refused to comply with that order until 8 days when they approached court for what they call a stay of execution. Now, the question there is that particular 8 days you kept Nnamdi Kanu before you got that purported stay of execution, who will pay? We cannot continue like this. Nigeria is a country that is predicated on rule of law. But now, the DSS and the other security agents has made mockery of the Nigerian democratic system. So we are calling the president, Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as a matter of urgency, to remove this director DSS. He is causing more confusion. He has created more harm than good. He is destroying our rule of law. He is destroying our democracy. He is destroying this country. We cannot continue like this. Let everybody continue to shout. This country, there are many. We have had many directors DSS. He's not the first one, and he's not going to be the last one. Yusuf Bichi. That is my own, what I'm calling. I'm also calling the CJN. CJN, as a matter of urgency, please, the judiciary, people have lost confidence in the judiciary based on the way they are flouting the court order. How can you give a judge will order that somebody should be released and they refuse? Court will order that they should do A, they said will not do A, they are doing B. They are dragging this country to a state of anarchy. They are dragging this country to a state of anarchy. We continue to shout. So that is what we want to clarify. People should ignore this statement issued by the public relations officer of DSS. Is a calculated attempt to deceive Nigerians. I'm calling the heads of courts, at least in Abuja here, the CJ, the Chief Judge Federal High Court, that of FCT, and that of National Industrial and President Court of Appeal, to go to DSS. Go and see people who have been there. No charges against them. Court has ordered that they should be released. Nobody is interested. So that is what we are shouting. That's what we are calling.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Okay. So have I covered the field? No.